Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Restaurant Talent Show 2019 Season 4. I'm Nadia Ali, your host for the talent show, and of course it gives me great pleasure to be back again for Season 4, and I'm superly duperly excited and totally full of curry, full of hotness, full of spice, and I'm just ready to go and find the best restaurant that we have in the UK. As you know, like every season, we only go for the best, and of course that's exactly what we're going to do right here during Season 4. Now this is how the episode's going to be working for the next 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we'll have 8 successful restaurants, takeaways, come on to share their success stories and give us an insight into their wonderful world of the curry industry. After hearing their stories, we will have our judges and special judges, and this time we also have mentors, but the mentors are slightly different this time, and I'm super excited to announce them as well a bit later on. And they'll be sharing their stories, and of course our very talented judges will make the decision as to, out of the 8, which 2 will make it through to the grand finale at 2020 at the business conference, which I'm super excited about as well, because I'm sure you've seen each season we have a conference, and every conference gets bigger and better, and of course we only bring you the best talents right here on Channel S. And now if you're wondering, Nadia, I missed last season, don't you worry, here's a little recap. Business Conference and Gala Dinner 2019.
It is vital that we support our curry houses, whichever way we can.
So we live in the 21st century in Britain. We as a community, we have to help ourselves, work together. We have to be united.
I think this is the very good things they're telling the caterers what to do, and they're supporting, telling all the community to stand by for this cause.
One of the nicest event for the catering industry.
It's a platform that encouraging the new generations of the caterers.
I started at the age of 17, one restaurant. I have a chain of 5, and I've invested in other businesses from the restaurant.
Making sure that sous chefs and others in Bangladesh have those skills, trained in Bangladesh, so that they've got a better chance of coming through the immigration control, the visa system.
Then that'll be a massive problem on top of all the other problems we've already heard about in Bangladeshi restaurants already.
We can lobby so long as we are united.
That's a very serious concern for the Bangladesh government.
There you have it. It's all about finding the talent right here through the Catering Circle, of course, and on Channel S through this talent show, which I'm so proud to be a part of. And of course, this would not have been possible without our judges. And as you know, like every episode, we have, of course, our 3 very special judges. Let me introduce you to them, and let me tell you how much power they have. Now, you hold 60% of the votes tonight, which is quite a lot. That's 20% each. So you have a big say in which 2 of the talents will actually make it through to the grand finale in 2020 at the business conference. So that's a lot of pressure. But don't worry, don't sweat. I'm sure you'll get through it. But let me introduce my audience to our guests, of course. I'll start with, of course, none other than Mahi Ferdos Jalil, the founder of Channel S Television, a very talented businessman and, of course, a property developer and a very close friend of Restaurant Talent Show 2019. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And thank you for coming. Are you excited about Season 4?
Yes, I am.
Looking for something different?
Always.
What are you looking for? Tell me the one thing you're looking for. Not 2, not 3, just 1. What's going to make it that different for you from the last season?
Well, firstly, I think the Season 4, I see a lot of youngsters this afternoon. So its trend has changed in the last 4 years. The age difference, you'll see the legacy is taken over by our youngsters. That's where I see the changes before I go into the details. The whole rooms here are youngs. Even the judges are very young, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're very young. There you are. You can say, you know, we're very young. That's fine. Okay. And right next to you, we have a very beautiful and talented lady, Sarah Ali Chowdhury, Indian food expert and columnist. And you've spent most of your life just literally managing Indian restaurants, and of course, with a background with your husband, with your father, with the restaurant business. And of course, you had an article in the Forbes recently, right?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a huge mark.
Thank you.
You know, being a woman in this industry and to actually go on there, I think she would deserve a round of applause. Come on. That is a huge achievement. So congratulations. Being a judge, what are you looking for?
Definitely innovation. I think we come to a time now where most of the restaurants seem to have the same kind of things wherever you go.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking for something completely different.
Yeah.
That can start to really change things around for restaurants all over the country.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and we're very lucky to have you here today. And of course, our last but not least, a very talented judge as well. We have the president of British Bangladeshi Caterers Association, Mr. Samshul Islam Salim. Thank you so much for coming to the show today. Today's show is all about savings costs and, of course, increasing revenue. Now, being a president of the British Bangladeshi Caterers Association, what tip would you like to give to our talents today?
Firstly, thank you very much for inviting me here. At the moment, the present situation is the Brexit issue. And because of the Brexit, the cost is going up by 30%. Because I was in a council meeting today, we are trying to buy some stuff and the cost is going high. So this is our aim to survive the industry. We need to cut our cost and save money. So this is the issue I'll be looking at. To survive, we have to look at this financial
Absolutely.
side.
Well, thank you very much for that tip. And talents, if you're listening, definitely take that into consideration, because these judges hold 20% each of your fate tonight. Now, here's a little bit more about the topic tonight.
1. Menu pricing and cost management. Valuable insights on managing your food costs and menu planning. Why do restaurants fail? There are 5 ingredients required for success in the restaurant business. Good location, good food, good service, and good environment. Ambience, atmosphere are all important. But the often overlooked essential is effective cost management and menu pricing.
Competition is good always for the business, but I think if we go for a quality, we don't have to do a price war.
বর্তমানে যে ডিজিটাল মেনু বারোইছে কম্পিউটারাইজড ওগুলা যদি তারা প্রোভাইড করেন অথবা তারার সিস্টেমও আনইন তে আশা করি এই প্রবলেমগুলো সলভ হইব।
We need to educate people to make them understand what the industry is about and how to sustain the industry by going forward. So it's very important that people are aware that technology plays a big part in the role now.
Restaurant industry future all depends on new technologies.
BAT বেড়ে গেছে, আমাদের খরচ অনেক বেড়ে গেছে, আমরা সংকুলন করতে পারি না। আমার ব্যক্তিগত অভিমত হলো আমরা BAT রিডিউসের জন্য আন্দোলন না করে যদি আমরা মেনুর প্রাইস আমরা হাই করে দেই, যদি আমরা 50% অফ 40% অফ যদি আমরা অফারগুলো তুলে দেই, তাহলে আমরা BATর জন্য আন্দোলন করতে হবে না, আমরা বাঁচতে পারবো।
There you have it. So much to take into account when actually talking about saving costs and, of course, increasing the revenue. Now, we've met our judges, but let's go meet our special judges now. We have, of course, 4, and these 4 very important people to also hold 10% each, so that's 40% altogether of of our talents voting, so that's quite a lot of results. So you have a lot of work in your hands as well. But let me introduce you to our judges, and of course we'll speak to you guys a bit later on. First of all, we have Mujib Islam, the Managing Director of the very famous Media Link, a leading ethnic media and communication agency. Thank you so much for coming. And we have a celebrity medicinal food and cookery expert, none other than Shahena Ali, and of course a very good friend of the show. Right next to her, we have Director of Taj Accounts. We've got Abul Hayat Nurichaman, and of course you'll be giving us all the costing help that you can, hopefully, right? I'm sure you will. And right next to you, we have Atika Rahman, Chef Consultant, Chef of the Year for 3 consecutive years between 2007 and 2009. Thank you so much. And of course, you're a very famous face as well, because you've had your own show with regards to anything to do with healthy cooking. So it's great to have you here. So thank you very much for coming. And last but not least, this is what I was really excited about, and I told you guys right at the beginning that this time the mentors are going to be slightly different, because we're not just going to go into the community and handpick our favourites, but this time we've handpicked from our very own garden, because you started right here at the Catering Circle through this talent show. So it's great to have you here. First of all, we have Adnan Hussain, the winner of Catering Circle Season 2 Restaurant Talent Show Awards 2017. Now you own Cafe Masala. You know, that's a huge success. And it's great to have you here, and of course to mentor, which we'll talk about a bit later on. And last but not least, we've got Ziaur Chowdhury, Restaurant Star of 2018 and winner of Catering Circle Season 2 Restaurant Talent Show Awards 2017. And of course, you're the owner of Montage. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And I can't wait to hear how you've helped, or what you're going to be doing for us, and what our contestants have in store for us today. So let's go meet our contestant, shall we? Here's a little So there we have it, and you know what, I'm really excited, and I don't want to waste any more time. I think we want to know more about the talent, and of course if you're watching at home today, don't forget you can download the app. It's the Catering Circle app. Do go ahead and download it on your iPhone, on your Android, and you can watch back your favorite episodes, and of course you can watch it live wherever you are in the world. So go ahead, download it. It's totally free. And don't forget, you can tweet us and get in touch through @Catering Circle. All right, so without any further ado, let's move on to round 1. Now, round 1 is all about the success stories and focusing on that contestant and the work that they've done throughout their career as a restaurateur, and what they've actually done, and why they're so proud to be in this industry. So first up, if I could please have on stage from Taj Tandoori in Cambridge, Jalal Saeed. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And whilst he comes up, just to mention, his mentor is, of course, I just want to get this right, is of course Ziaur Chowdhury. There you are. Didn't even have to look. I knew that. Intuition. Assalamualaikum, bhai, how are you? Excellent. Now, as always, you know what I'm going to do. I'm just getting my iPad ready. I'm just going to explain to you what you have to do. Don't sweat just yet. Please don't. I will abruptly stop you, though, so be prepared for that, unfortunately. I think this is why I've never had an invite to the restaurants, ever, because I always abruptly stop you guys. So 120 seconds to talk just about your success story and to woo our panel judges and our special judges. All right, inshallah. Your time starts now.
Salaam. So I'm from Taj restaurant in Cambridge. We're basically a BYOB restaurant, so we don't actually sell alcohol. So this means that we need to monitor our profitability even more closely than most other restaurants. And menu pricing and cost management, I think, are two huge factors that we look at to ensure that we meet our profitability targets. And with regards to menu pricing, normally what you do is you get the cost of a product and then you multiply it by 3 and 4 to get your price. But we kind of took a different approach, and we priced our products based on what the market's willing to pay. So we looked at what our competitors were charging. We were also looked at what price we can charge so that we deliver value. We made sure that we weren't underpricing or overcharging any of the dishes, and then we kind of found the price that we wanted. And then from that, we then divided down and got our cost product, and this enabled us to then be able to buy the best possible quality of product, size it properly, portion it accordingly, and then we can deliver the best value to our customer from the price that we determined. With regards to cost management, normally what we used to do is to have profit and loss statements, so we could see at the end of the month how much we've taken, how much we spent on food costs, how much we spent on staff. But what we found was that sometimes what would happen is at the end of the month, when you've seen you spent too much money on food or you've spent too much money on staff, there's nothing you can do about it. So we changed it, and what we do is now we have like a real-time budgeting strategy. So what we do, we forecast ahead, saying, right, we're going to do about so much this month, and we know that we're going to spend 30,000 on food or 3,000 on food costs or whatever. So within 2 weeks of the month, if we've overspent, then we already know that our target is this much we're going to spend on food, and we're overspent. So the next 2 weeks we can rein in our costs a little bit so that we can make sure that we stay on target. So I like to think of it as like a sniper doing target practice. So what they do is you can shoot like a Coke can on a rock, or you can target like a target board, and you shoot like a Coke can and you miss it, then you don't know how far by how much you've missed it. But whereas a target board, if you miss the bullseye and you go a bit to the left, bit to the right, you can realign yourself and go on target, hit point.
Thank you. I'm going to let you finish that sentence. That was very well explained, but of course legally, let's just let you know that, okay?
For fun.
For fun. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I'll let the judges make notes on that, but thank you very much once again. Whilst I call up the next contestant, we'll go for Adnan's one this time. Let's do it in turns. We do only have 7 today with us, unfortunately. 8 participants could not attend, so 1 had to send their apologies, but we have 7. So in round 1, at the end of round 1, we will be losing 1 person instead of 2. So please keep that in mind, judges. So instead of 2, we're going to be losing only 1 person with the least votes. Next up, one of Adnan's mentee. Let's please have Secret Spice Raju Kamali on, please. And again, just to remind you, you have 120 seconds. I will stop you when it comes to your time ending, and it's all about your success stories. Good luck. Your time starts now.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Basically, you're talking about success stories about Secret Spices. When we made the menu, we thought about something different. Analysing what Sarah said previously, she wants to see something different. This is exactly what we did before we opened the restaurant. We obviously checked our competitors' menu, their websites. What they were selling was very classics, things like masala, madras, buna, jafra, which everybody has. So what's the point of opening another Indian restaurant when you're going to sell exactly the same thing as your competitors? This is why we stand up from the crowd, because our menu involves things like scallops, calamari, lobster, venison, sea bass, beef. It's very unique. It's more like fusion food. This is why if they want something different or something special, they only come to Secret Spices, because they cannot get these food anywhere else. That's why our menu stands out from the crowd. It's very unique. Also, we did amend our menu a couple of years back. When we amended it, my dad always told me, don't overprice, otherwise you'll lose your customers, because you need to retain the business, because you're not there for a short period, you're there for the long run. This is what people don't focus on, because what we need to focus on is more on the volume of customers, not the volume of prices, because if you're going to overprice, you'll lose your customers. I mean, me personally, if I go to a restaurant, I'm loyal somewhere, and if the bill comes up to £40 for 2 people, and after 6 months it goes to £60 or £50, I wouldn't go back. So you lose your loyal customers, and if you don't have your regular customer, you can't retain the business. Also, signature dishes. Every restaurant has a signature dish a bit overpriced. It goes up to £10, £12. I've noticed in my local area when they're selling signature dish for £12, they don't include the rice. Now, this is where value for money kicks in. I mean, our lamb shank or sea bass, they're about £13, £14. But along with that, we serve it with a pillar rice, which makes it value for money. So if the customer's ordering a sea bass, they know they get a rice with it, which means they won't have to spend extra money for an extra rice. And obviously, when the bill comes up to, £50, £60, I've noticed there's less chance of getting a tip.
I'm going to let you finish up.
No worries. So when the bill's about £50 or £55 for two people, there's more chance of getting a bigger tip as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I'm going to allow the judges to please make notes. Next up, if I could please have from Camp Spice, Jaku Chowdhury, please. Mentee of course, Ziaur Chowdhury. If I could please have you come, and again, just to remind you that you also have 120 seconds for this round, and it's all about your success stories. So your time starts now.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for inviting me from Cambridge. I would like to highlight a few things which I've actually introduced when I first started my business 4 years ago. When I first started, I found the business wasn't really running very well. So what my first point was to increase the sales. So what was my first point was to market me and I have to go to the customers, and I have to find out what the customer demands in that particular area where I'm actually running my restaurants. So what I actually did was I did start advertising my business, introducing new dishes. So what I initially did was to change the complete menus. So I really wanted to be completely going away from the traditional way of people actually going. So what I tried was to introducing lots of new dishes into the menu, and which actually attracted the customers. And that's how I could actually see my success within a short period of time. Another thing I would like to point out is I used my local resources. Basically, it is very important to have involvement with the local peoples. So if you need somebody, because the restaurant where I am in, I have a big garden, so my garden needs maintenance. So if I need a gardener, I would have to find someone from locally who can be my potential customer. That's how I build up my relationship with the locals. That's one of the example I'm giving. So getting local resources and involving local people is another advantage of increasing your sales. Another thing I probably have to say is the modern technology which I've actually introduced, which I didn't find when I first started. I used to take my orders with the papers, and now I have EPOS systems, and that's how I can reduce my cost. I can rely on that electronic things, which actually makes me not employ one extra people who can actually do this work for me.
Thank you. I'm going to let you finish.
Thank you.
Do you want to finish your sentence?
Well, that's about it.
Okay, that's good. That was the fastest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That was Jaku Chowdhury. Thank you very, very much. Next up, from the restaurant, Mr. India. I was thinking about the movie right there. Mr. India, if I could have Sofa Zaman, please, to come and take his place. And please share his success stories. So, Sofa Zaman, if you could kindly share your stories. Then, of course, just a quick reminder to those watching at home, you can get in touch, you can be a part of the show. All you've got to do is download the app Catering Circle. Thank you so much for joining us today from Waikum Sam, from Mr. India. You have 120 seconds and your time starts now.
I'm from Sheerness, Kent, Mr. India. We established in 1998. It was a 6-table-seater restaurant, 26-seater. We're now 46 restaurant. 2014 we done extension with the menu pricing. Talking about it, it was more of management of the cost of wastage. So we didn't have to always put our pricing up, but it was more controlling the portions, measuring the spices, measuring the onions, measuring the chicken, everything. It was more controlling the actual consistency of the food. So a little bit nervous, sorry.
You're fine. It's fine.
Kicking in. But yeah, so that's what it was. And knowing the competitors, local competitors, always keeping up to date. Staying above the game, make sure we knew what we was doing, presenting the dishes well. So yeah, that was the major, control, the wastage, so costing. So we didn't have to always push the prices up. We kept it competitive, kept the customers happy, and yeah, we're just going from there. What else? So basically, yeah, and then menu pricing, we do offers. So when if we had a middle of the month, it was struggling, we'd do little mid promotions, push the sales. So that in that sense, we'd never dropped. We were still keeping the margins there. So that was a good push. And obviously, because we've been there since 1998, we know our clientele. Yeah. We knew how to order stocks, preparation with the food. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else you want to add?
That's it. A little bit nervous, trying to shake it off. But
that's
yeah,
fine.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully, if you make it through round 1, you've got round 2 and round 3 to make up for it.
Oh, thank you.
But thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you, Yvonne.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. He's so nervous. Don't be nervous. Well done for coming this far, because of course we only choose the best in the UK, and we bring you the best. Actually, we handpick these restaurants. Now you should be quite lucky if you're sitting at home feeling a bit peckish, thinking, "What can I eat?" Well, there you have it. All the restaurants are here, sharing all their stories, sharing their success stories and all their secrets right here on live television. So actually, you have a lot to pick from. So we do love you. You can't say Channel S doesn't do enough for you. Next up, if I could please have from Zafran Abdul Sobur, please, to come and share his story. Let's give him a round of applause. And here, if you also could please share your success stories. You have 120 seconds to share your success story and, of course, woo our special judges. And for those at home watching, just a quick reminder, don't forget, if you're a social media freak, just like I am, you can, of course, tweet us or Instagram us at Catering Circle. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Your time starts now.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Sabur, and I'm owner of the Zafran Indian Takeaway. As I got this success story, I just recently created Indian authentic dishes, which is we cooked in home, and I just created, and I got a huge response in last 2 weeks. Everybody says we want something authentic, so I created lamb buna on the bone, chicken buna on the bone, lamb chop on the bone. Every dishes I'm selling on my website is $11.95, which is cost effective, cheaper to make it, and easy to run. You just do it in one pot, because nowadays is most important is cost effective. If you want to run with the less stuff, you have to do everything in a handy cook, where we do in a back home. That should be way to do it, to run the business. Then you can run with the less stuff. Because if you're doing like chicken tikka masala, chicken madras, chicken vindaloo, this and that, in that amount of business I do in my takeaway, I need 7 people in my kitchen. I run with only 4 people. So this is the only cost-effective way to do it, the business nowadays. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. You finished way before your time. Thank you so much for that. Right, last but not least, we have our last contestant coming on now from the Raj Lodge. If I could please have Munaim Uddin to please make his way and, of course, share his success stories. And I'm really excited because it's the end of round 1 after this contestant. And this is where our judges really get grilled, because they have to choose their faves and, of course, give their, what's the word? Give their expertise and make, yeah, there you are, and make the right judgments. I think that's what I'm looking for. So I'm so glad I'm not on that seat, to be honest. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the show. Munaim, you have 120 seconds.
Okay, thank you. So basically, where we try and differentiate ourselves with the restaurant and the cost price and stuff like that is we actually started our own wholesale company from the beginning, so we can supply our own restaurants at first, and then obviously that's one of our main parts, where we're in a position where we can supply other restaurants as well. So with the cost management, I mean, we always sit down and look at the cost of, the prices of the onions and prices of everything else, because that's a big factor of, a part of the menu and a part of the whole business. So yeah, I mean, we always try and factor in the cost of the staff and stuff like that, try and find the right staff and find who else is sorry, I'm just a bit nervous at the moment. Fine. But yeah, I mean, we always try and cut down on like the cost of the main ingredients and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the cost pricing of the whole situation is a big factor of it, because we're always trying to look for new ways to put that into effect. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much.
By having your wholesale, do you feel it helps you?
Yeah, that's right. It helps us a lot, because obviously we also get to find out what the competitors are up to and stuff like that. So yeah, it does help out quite a lot.
So you make more money, basically.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Do you want to add anything else?
No, that's it for the moment. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you
so much. All right.
Cheers.
That is the end of round one now. This is where the judgment happens. So just a quick reminder, our panel judges on my right, you have, you hold 60% of the votes today, so please do think carefully, and you could talk to each other, make the right judgment, obviously, which is 20% each, which is quite a lot, and of course 40% from our special judges. Now I'm going to speak to you both sides just to find out how you guys are finding it. I'll start with, of course, the man himself. Why don't you tell me, I mean, did the participants, I mean, yeah, we saw lots of younger faces, like you said earlier, you know, from season 1 to season 4. I've seen the journey. We've definitely got younger faces now. But do you think they understand about cost management?
I think they do, but there are a few points missed out, like fixed cost in a restaurant always. The fixed cost is very important to run any businesses, right? Your rent, your rates, they're all fixed.
Yeah.
There is variable cost. Then you have a dairy product cost, which you cannot keep for months, but the rice you can keep it. Then also you have, no one's mentioned a word apart from the last one about the suppliers. You might go and find a cheaper onion, but the chef food won't come good if the onion got water in it. So you might find a cheaper onion somewhere. But a big bag of onion today is £16, for example. That onion, the food product will come out totally different, a Spanish one. And if we go, sometimes we think the homegrown onion might be good, but they're not good.
Yeah.
For example, garlic. So there are a few points that's totally missed out. Waste management also is just touch and go.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for us, for me especially, just to give a sort of a marking, because a lot of things are hoo-ha, because it's one of those things, you know. But again, they did say many good things. Value for money does not mean always that a cheaper product is the best product for your restaurants.
Yeah.
I don't agree to that. You know, a lot of people might do. There are chefs in that panels. They will say. Then I found packaging deals is very important as well, because. You see, when you go to a Turkish restaurant, for example, you don't find they're cutting each other's throat. I know Turkish friends who does 250,000 a week, but his next door is 10% more. We Bangladeshi has that culture, a disease that how can we cut him down and buy one, get one free, those. Yeah. That is our, you know, we have that in our nature from somewhere.
Maybe we're just more competitive.
No, we have inherited it because we don't see that business. We see that, not seeing that I'm making money, we want to put him down. That's what we think. That's how we open our restaurants. Yeah. And that's the problem when I come to these sort of programs, you know. But anyway, we got enough.
We have reality, Mahi, for that.
We have enough to do decisions, but I thought it would be better for us to ask a few things, then we could have done a better judgment on points. But later stage, most probably.
I'll tell you what, founder of Channel S, Mr. Mahi Firdaus Jalil, you can put that forward to the producers that you wanted to ask some questions. But I'll tell you what, because you know you mean a lot to me, Mama, I will allow you to ask questions in one of the rounds. Okay, how about that?
No, that's fine. That's fine. You asked me a question, I had to say.
I promise you.
I hope my colleagues here, they will all support me what I said.
Well, let's ask them. I'm sure they do. Thank you so much. I'm going to go straight to the accountant actually now, and ask you about what you think. I mean, Abul, did you think they missed out on a few things?
given the time 120 seconds, I think they have done really good. And if you look into the title of this, this round should have focused on like success stories, highlighting solutions on menu pricing and cost management. When we were talking about solutions, they got to tell us the stories, how they use the, suppose like AI, artificial intelligence, like different software solutions and things like this, how they actually got the pricing right, I mean, using those solutions. And one contestant mentioned that he even looks at the onion price. My question is, by looking at the onion, so what's the price of this? Do you make changes to your menus? And if you make the changes, how often do you make those changes? And just saying that I look into the price of the onions doesn't give us any solution. And not only this, we have seen that another contestant's talking about cooking the food at home. The next question is, are they hygiene compliant? So there are other issues that we got to look into. As Mahiba has said, if we had the opportunity to ask every single contestant even one question, most with that situation would have been much clearer.
We will definitely take that into account, but mentors, please take this into account. Maybe next time this is what we need to follow. But that was very good. And
from my side, I really want to see the artificial intelligence on place, how they're using that to get the pricing and cost management.
We will actually have that in the next round where they'll talk about media technology, so I'm definitely. Thank you so much. I'm going to come straight to Sarah. Sarah, why don't you tell me what you felt that really worked for you?
Well, what worked for me, you mean with what they've said?
Yes, absolutely.
What I think, one of the things that I actually don't really get is how people can plan for what's coming, because in the restaurant, everybody who has a restaurant knows you just don't know what's coming. Every week is different to the week before. Some people have steady build-up and they know they have sort of regular clientele, so they have an idea. But obviously, you know, seasonal things improve. One of the other things that was not spoken about was staff cost. Probably the most expensive cost to run a restaurant.
I think one person mentioned that. I think one person mentioned about staff and said instead of having 7, he has 4 staff members working.
Yeah, actually, he did. But one of the things that we find is when you're ordering stock, for example, for the restaurant, there is another cost incurred there for staff costing as well. So all of that adds to everything else. But overall, I think they had a very short time and absolutely fantastic outcome from everybody.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for that. Now, this is where the judges have to do the hard work. We are going into a quick break now, so I will speak to the judges a bit later on. But please get judging, because we really want to know who's made it through to round 2. But let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Season 4, Episode 1 of course, the Restaurant Talent Show 2019. I do have the results, woo! But I'm still waiting before I can actually release this information. We didn't speak to one of our judges before the break, so I'd like to now go back and please speak to Mr. Shamsul Islam Shalim and ask you what your views are on the topic with regards to costing and solution finding.
Yes, thank you, Nadia. The thing is, the time they got is very limited.
120 seconds.
By the time they get ready, the time is gone. So we didn't get what we expected from them. So maybe if they had more time, it could have been, they could have give us more details. But the thing which I was looking more of wastage, because in most of the Indian restaurants, if you look at we do lots of wastage. So this is where it doesn't. I mean, customer is paying it, we are paying for it, but no one is saving it. So this is one thing I was looking. I think there was one gentleman did mention it, but I don't think so. He did go into the details. The other thing is this staff, which is the main concern, because most of our restaurant, I think 40% of the taking goes on the staff. So staff, I think one person mentioned the technology system, which is he's saving on there. So I'm more looking at sort of like the one person is said he's got cost time 3 to, for the sales. So I mean the cost time 3, what cost?
Yeah.
Because you need to carry on, because the some of the cost is very limited, very small. Doesn't matter if you save 10-15 pound on there, it's not. You have to see where your major cost you can save.
Of course.
So look at the bigger picture, not look at the smaller picture, and that's what I was looking for. See if anyone mentioned on the bigger picture.
There you are. The president has spoken. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now I actually have the results. Are we ready for it? Should we go for it? Okay, so this is how it works. Just those that have just joined us right now, we have every week we will have 8 participants, and out of the 8 we have 3 rounds, and in each round we will be eliminating 2 people, and at the end we will take with us to the grand finale for 2020's business conference 10 very special winners finalists, which I'm super excited about. Now before we do that, of course, this is where the judges come in, and they had to judge. We had the panel judges with 60% of the votes and the special judges with 40%. Now today we've only got 7. Of course, the 6th, as I mentioned earlier on, the 6th contestant sends their apology. So for the first round, we will be saying goodbye to only 1 contestant that has taken part. Now, if you're waiting for the results, give me 2 seconds. I have the magic button right here, which I'm about to share with you guys on screen right now. Let's take a look. All right, in first place with 68% of the votes, Secret Spice. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Well done, Raju Kamali. And of course, Taj Restaurant in second place with 64%, so very, very close. Well, actually tied with Mr. India with 64%. So well done to, of course, Sofas Zaman, and for and of course for Taj Tandoori, well done to Jalal Saeed. And in fourth place, we have with 62%, well actually fourth place again, 2 ties with Raj Lodge and Cam Spice, 62% each. Well done. Let's give them a huge round of applause to Zakir Chowdhury and of course Munayam Uddin, although he was very nervous. Well done, you made it through. Now, last but not least, well actually he wasn't very far off with 50% of the votes. We are having to say goodbye to Zafran, unfortunately, and that is Abdul Sabur. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the restaurant, the talent show, but we are going to have to say goodbye to you. Your journey ends here. We're going to move on to round 2. Before we move on to round 2, which is all about media and technology, I'm going to speak to our very special judges. Media and technology, there's only one man that we have to speak to, right? So you have you basically have all the answers, all the secret answers that we need right now, that our contestants need to say. What is it that they really need to focus on?
Okay. Thank you, Nadia. For me, every business has the same principle.
And they have to be with Media Link, of course, right? I'm kidding.
Probably, yeah.
I thought I'd plug it.
Thank you. So every business has the same principle. Ultimately, a business has to make money, whichever business you look at. So there's a combination of good food, ambience, pricing, and marketing. So you can't just focus on just one element of your business. So when it comes to marketing, yes, we can get bogged down into doing social media or the leafleting. It may bring in the customers to your restaurant, but ultimately, once the customers come into the restaurant, you've got to try and then serve them, provide them good food. And so the whole product itself is very critical in terms of how you market your restaurants. I think a lot of people forget that when the customer comes into the restaurant, they actually come in for the food. So probably your biggest marketing is your food itself. And then you get the referral, word of mouth. A lot of these restaurants are locally based. So yes, we can do national marketing, go into TV, but we need to do targeted marketing. And marketing is also very expensive. So we've got to bear in mind.
And when you say targeted marketing, can you give us examples?
Absolutely. So if you're locally based, you can look at, probably most of your customers will be coming from your locality. So look at areas where you can plug your restaurant in the local community, probably getting involved with local community issues, sponsoring local teams, even looking at local newspapers, getting stories in there, providing maybe columns in the newspaper which are completely free of charge, providing recipes and so on. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can market, to be honest, without really spending tons of money. So it's all about a good mix.
Absolutely.
So ultimately, we've got to do a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, a business, especially the food business, is really bogged up, focused on the food itself, and that is critical for me as a marketing person.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, and I guess our contestants are very lucky that you're here today, and I hope you've taken everything into account, because I'm looking at the contestants right now. So make sure you write those pointers down so you can address that. I'm going to ask Johanna a quick question. You know, you're not a food blogger, but I mean, you know, you're an expert when it comes to food, medicinal food expert. You've been on TV, you've been on radio, and you know how it works. Your page looks amazing. So how important is technology for restaurants?
I think technology is absolutely vital, especially
social media.
Social media wise, it's the easiest way to obtain really targeted so basically target your clientele, as well as reach out and make everything go viral. And touching on the wastage prevention, that can actually be a selling point, especially with the sustainability focus now in the media. You can actually use that as a selling point, and a lot of clients want to see restaurants and eating places reducing costs and also their wastage for environmental purposes.
Yeah.
It's a huge topic nowadays.
Absolutely. And how do you think they can use social media to talk about the wastage?
Talk about wastage, really talking about the food that they're preparing and how they're cutting wastage, what they're doing and how it impacts the environment as well. That's going to be a huge topic going forwards with the planet, ecosystem saving at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And again, I hope you've taken that into account, and I'm sure they have. And I'm pretty sure after the show they'll be coming to you saying, can you please help us out and give us a bit more information? I'd like to now go to our special guest, Atika Rahman, our special judge, not just guest. Now, you being in the industry yourself, and of course an award-winning chef, that's a huge responsibility. Now, do you feel that when it comes to media and technology, as a chef, do you really care? Or do you only care about what you're making in the kitchen?
Yeah, be honest with you, I'm busy with my cooking, you know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I should hope so. Whoever's making my food in a restaurant next time, I should hope they're not Snapchatting away.
Exactly. I'm busy with my cooking and everything, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But for a restaurant now, for a successful business, after you've made that amazing, yummy food, let's not talk about food right now. That food that you've made, do you feel quite proud when it goes on Instagram, when it goes on social media? Do you feel that chefs actually get enough appreciation?
Absolutely, yeah. Soon as you can see your dish in like a newspaper or Facebook or anything, you just really feel you're proud of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, thank you so much for that. I'm going to go to our mentors now. So we've actually lost Zafran. So I'm going to speak to, of course, Zia or Chowdhury. How are you feeling? Let's use the mic so we can hear you. I know you're down, but let's pick you back up. It really doesn't matter. I mean, he's obviously, he had to leave, but he was very, very close. What do you think he missed out on?
I think, the important thing for everyone to realise is don't pretend you know it all. You know, I think that's the important thing. Because
this is the start of 2018 telling you, do not know it all.
No, because there are experienced judges sitting all along us. So, they know more than we do.
Yeah.
So I think when you're talking in front of a judge panel, talk like you're doing the best you can.
Yeah.
But not as if you kind of
know it all.
Know it all, basically.
Yeah.
I think that it comes across as a negative.
Absolutely.
So I think that's advice that I would give for the future.
That's very humble of you, and this is probably why you were the start of 2018, to be honest. So congratulations and well done, of course, and thank you for being a mentor this year. And right next to you, of course, we have Adnan Hussain, who was the winner of Catering Circle Season 2, Restaurant Talent Show for Awards 2017. So very young face. and we've got loads of young faces, fresh faces right here with us today. What would you like to say to them? I mean, I actually remember season 2. You were very nervous. Do you remember?
Yeah, I was, because being
you
around.
were stuttering the first.
Being around like
show.
such, high-profile people, like yourself, celebrity chefs, Sister Shahina and that. It was a lot for me to handle, because I've always been just in my own box, and trying to impress you guys, it is really nerve-wracking. But right now I'm over the moon, because
you're not doing it, basically.
No. It's because I'm the mentor of the winner of this round. So he's done really well.
Yeah.
So and
you're a mentor for quite a few. Don't have favourites now.
I'm not saying my words.
I'm joking.
He's done really well. I think they've all done really well.
Yeah.
But obviously I feel like the people I'm working with at the moment, Secret Spice, Mr. India, and the other brother as well. They've done really well for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're young. They're all young as well. They're fresh. They've got plenty of ideas. They're taken over from the previous generation.
Yeah.
And they've come, with a whole new different mindset of how to dominate this industry.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and I think you're definitely leading the way. So well done. Thank you so much, Adnan. Now, moving on, it's all about round 2. The heat is on. Let's get started. Here's round 2. Now, round 2 is all about, as we mentioned, media and technology and how to utilize it correctly. So please take into account what our judges had to say, and our mentors, of course, what they had to say, your mentors, what they had to say, take that into account. They were the previous winners, so definitely what they have to say does make sense. I would take that into account. So if we could start with round 2 with our first contestant, if I could please have Taj Tandoori, if I could have Jalal Saeed on, please, to come on and speak about media and technology and how this has impacted his restaurant, and of course what it is that you are doing right now. And for this round, you will not be happy to know, because you only have 60 seconds for this round.
Okay.
So a little bit less, but you need to wrap it if you want. I'm happy for you to do that.
Yeah.
All right, your 60 seconds starts now.
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of technology and media tools available, but I'm going to focus on what we've been doing for the last 6 months, and that's social media, and just some of the stuff that we've been doing that's really helped us engage with our customers better. So one of the things that we like to do is have conversations with our customers, as opposed to just bombarding them with information and sales messages. Having that conversation gives the human touch, and it becomes more of a social thing. And other things we like to do is ask a lot of questions. So we're something like, what's your favourite curry, or what emoticon best describes your favourite curry, things like that. And another big thing for us is videos. We've been doing a lot of videos, and on the videos we saw that the engagement had dramatically improved, especially the videos where we had staff members working or some behind the scenes footage. Those videos customers seem to love a lot. And one more thing, very important thing that we focused on was our target audience. A lot of people say just focus on one target audience, but we have students, business people, and families. So we do targeted advertising, which social media platforms have available, so you can target students with the material for them, and for families different sort of posts and stuff.
Thank you very much.
Very short
Thank you.
time.
I know, but you know what? You will have an opportunity for the judges to ask you questions, hopefully, if you make it to round 3. So don't worry about it. Thank you so much. Next up, if I could kindly have our next contestant, and this is from Camp Spice, Zakir Chowdhury, to please make his way. And whilst he makes his way, I just want to remind you all at home, you can be a part of the Catering Circle. Please don't forget to download the app. So if you have a smartphone, an Apple, if you have an Android at home, go ahead, download it. You can watch back your favourite show on the app, and it's totally free. What more do you need? Right, next up, we of course have Zakir Chowdhury. You have 60 seconds. Your time starts now.
Right. One of the very important thing which we need to understand about social marketing, it is one of the best way of going to the customer these days. 10 years ago, when we first started our business, it was slightly different. But these days, it's completely different. So we have to understand how important the social marketing is. At the another time, we have to understand how that social marketing actually working. Is it really working for you? Is it not working for you? So we really have to be very careful about posting our posts, whether it is actually going in a professional way or is it not going to an unprofessional way. You can probably take a picture with your phone and then you can post it on Facebook, but it might not look good if it does it professionally if you outsource this to a professional company. I spend £300 a month for an organization which does the social marketing for us. Another thing is very important is to, these days of the current circumstances, is have a good employee, and you have to have a good bunch of employees which will do the business for you. You don't have to do much about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very good timing. Well done. Well done. That was very, very good. All right, next up from Secret Spice, if I could have Raju Kamali, please, to make his way onto the stage. And of course, again, talk about media and to talk about all things technology with their restaurants. And of course, judges, I really hope that they're ticking those boxes with what you asked for, and they are speaking about how they are using this to help their business. All right, 60 seconds, your time starts now.
Thank you. In our restaurant, we have an online order system, which has all the menu. Once you go into our website, it's easy to order, so it saves a lot of time. So we don't need anybody else taking orders. Talking about Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, we do a lot of publishing all the time. We constantly publish our new dishes, our signature dishes, everything we explore, we try to let people know. We do a lot of charity work. Once a year, we work with breast cancer, and also lately we have sponsored a football club. And every 3 months we do events in the restaurant, like 80s Night, Michael Jackson or Bollywood Night, which basically draws people in. And you get a lot of new customers from that, which I've monitored. Once they come in, they say it's our first time coming in here. So what happens after that? They come in again, they say, hello, we came to your 80s Night and we like the food, that's why we come back. So these events really help draw in new customers. And also we are working with a local driving school where I actually took driving lessons from him, and we have a good relationship. So what he does, each time his candidate passes a driving test, he gives them a £20 voucher to go and celebrate at Secret Spice. So this is basically collaborating with other firms in order to draw in more customers, and it really helps. It helps me and it helps him as well.
I'm going to let you finish this because
no
it is towards the end. Sorry.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for that. Well done. Thank you very, very much. Now from Mr. India, if I could please have Sofa's Zaman to please come back on, and hopefully a little less nervous now to come and speak about his views on media and technology and how it's helped his business.
Hey, how you doing? Right. Basically, we've got an ecosystem with Purple Eye. We manufacture all our, control with the whole system of keeping our content with the database. Yeah. With the social media, we connect it with through what we do. We're trying to see if they're on Instagram, Facebook, because it's a local village area. I can see the database and connect on Instagram. So I can actually directly send messages to the Instagram pages, give them offers, etc. And also we do influencers. We use a lot of blue tick influencers to bounce off with. Right now, today, when we was on a little break, I done a little Instagram page shot, and it's really getting a good response. A lot of people shouting out, what's going on, how you doing? So a lot of people tuned in as well for the English fans. There you go. What else?
Do they get 10% off?
You get 25% off.
Oh, there you are, 25% off.
If you're watching, you get 25% off. Also, yes, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram's our main big push. If you don't mind, while I'm here, I'm going to take this opportunity to do Instagram shot, if that's possible.
Oh, wow, you're going to use your last 5 seconds?
I'll use my last 5 seconds, because
right,
right being here,
it's
pushed my sales already. I know for a
There we are. 5 seconds.
Catering Circle, yeah?
So he's using the last 5 seconds of winning this round.
That's it. And now I'll take that in. Everyone's giving me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, that was very different. Let's hope that works. And next time I'm in Kent, I'll definitely come in for that 25% off. All right, next up, last but not least, from Raj Lodge. Sorry, if I could please have Munaim Uddin to please come on and speak to us about media and technology. Again, brother, you have 60 seconds and your time starts now.
So hello again. So basically what we do, we take a slightly different approach to our social media marketing. So we actually outsource it to another company so we can fully concentrate on the customer's end product. So you give a customer a better experience when they come in. So if you fully, like if some people go into the social media, you know, you can get stuck into it all day and stuff like that. So what we do, we actually take a different approach and literally just give it to another company, let them liaise with us, and then we help them out in every way they can. And so another thing we do, we actually have our own app within the restaurants. So basically when the customers order, they can have real-time tracking and stuff like that. So we also have we also do a lot of old-fashioned marketing, where we still give out leaflets, and word of mouth is a big part of our business, because obviously we have we've got like 6 restaurants within a 10-mile radius. So we actually train our staff to make sure they mention all the restaurants to the customers. And another thing that we think is a lot more effective in business is we actually concentrate on the website reviews, like such as TripAdvisor. So we always try and make sure that we're on top of all of that. So actually one of our restaurants is #1 in the whole of Harlow, in all restaurants, not just Indian restaurants. So
I'm
also
let you finish this.
Sorry?
Finish this.
Okay, so also where my dad started the restaurants a long time ago, where we're really well known, 99% of our customers are regular. So obviously the word of mouth is a big part of it. And that's pretty much it.
Stop.
Yeah, is that
Thank you.
enough time? Yeah? All right, lovely. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for that. There you have it. That was our 6 contestants that we spoke to in round 2, and this is where it gets really difficult for the judges again, because you have to make that decision with regards to who is going to make it through to round 1. And again, we are only losing 1 on this round as well, so we will be taking 4 on the next round. So please just please choose who you think is going to be leaving us. I'm actually going to start with you, because I can see you doing the eyebrow lift, saying, "Oh, Nadia, I have some stuff to say." What do you think?
No, I don't much to say.
You always have something to say. Please tell me, what did you think of this round? Do you think they were better this time? Do you think the advice that...
I'm a 20th centuries man, they're 21st centuries man. So there is a difference. But I think the social media, we need to have a strategy. Without a strategy, social media is very dangerous as well. So you just can't go, direct sell does not work much in a social media. So in a social media, you need to have a serious sort of a strategy for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, how you're going to do it, how you're going to sell your products. So sometimes, this is just what I think. I think sometimes a lot of negatives can be converted into positive. So BBC done a report today saying that a Indian restaurant selling horse meat, or BBC done a report saying Indian restaurant governor been imprisoned for a nut selling. So the local guy can say, he come up with and saying, our restaurants have a policy on nuts, this is what we do, then because it's all about giving importance to your customer. So the customer can do your product as a marketing. You're going to go in every time on a social media and say, right, I am Mr. Nice, I'm so good, I am the best. It doesn't sell. But you have to come up with a strategy to sell yourself on a social media. So I found lacking of direct and indirect marketing, because direct marketing does not work for me and never worked in a restaurant. If anybody tells me outside the restaurant, I'm best, I'm going to give you a free pint of beer, I don't go there. When I see a restaurant, it's not busy, even if you give me everything free, I don't go. If there is an empty restaurant, I don't go. So there are many side effects. You asked me the questions, but third-party marketing always works. So a customer came back and wrote on the page, I was last night in Taz, and it had the best restaurants, of this, and that was great, the price was good, this was good. But we have to make that for him to say it. But if we just go and say, right, I'm going to have a communication with client, I'm going to say tomorrow 10% off, that's a sign of a desperation. It does not sign of a multi-million pound business. It's a local this. Local marketing is important. One of the guys said about charity, we used to do that 30 years ago. Local charities, invite them, local newspaper. The food expert locally, they need to come and write, because a lot of the local people, if you take one from City of London today to Cambridge, they most probably don't know even her, because all the curry lover knows their local food experts. So local food expert need to be invited. Hygiene levels, 5 points, 6 points, 10 points, whatever it is. So yes, it is marketing, and you have to have a confidence on your product as well.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, move on. I can talk.
No, absolutely. I think you made some very good points, and actually I'm going to touch on one of the points that you made, and I'm going to ask Sarah, you know, you as a writer yourself, I mean, do you tend to write about other restaurants? And
I do restaurant reviews. And it's great fun because you go out and you just eat. But I try not to complain on anybody's food because everybody's taste is different, so it's always difficult to judge.
But how hard is it? I mean, you know, the question that I'm trying to ask is, you know, I think it's really great having, you know, local food experts. But how difficult is it to get through to you? I mean, how do they know who the local food expert is?
One of the things I noticed on the round that we just did with the marketing is everybody's talking about social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is all great if your customers are on there. Yeah. But it's absolutely no value if your customers don't use it. Yeah. If I look at my own family, for example, my dad is not going to go out to a restaurant based on their Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. No. And I think one of the things that everybody's missed out, and I did wait to hear it, but I didn't hear it from anybody, was the food festivals. In the community, that is the place that every Indian restaurant should be trying to get involved with their local food festival for lots of reasons. There is lots of other things. The community work is really good, but you should also be involved with your Chamber of Commerce, for example, with your Rotary Club that is local to your business, because these are places that will spread the word for you. Personally, I don't like the idea of investing money to another company, like cutting down on staff but spending money on social media doesn't make sense to me.
No, you want the product.
You want the product. So the food festivals is something that I think is really, really strong for anybody in any sort of food business, because they highlight the best, they showcase the best. So people in restaurants should be every year during this sort of period, they should be getting involved with their local town food festival. They should be doing a cookery demonstration, because just being there and just doing a cookery demonstration for a few minutes will bring all the customers in. They all know you're cooking, they all watch you, and then they say, oh, in the evening they all go to the restaurant because they enjoyed what they had. Yeah. And demonstration food is always the best, because it's when it's cooked in small quantities, everybody loves it.
Amazing, doesn't it? Well, that's all I do at home, to be honest, which is why my food tastes absolutely amazing when I'm doing it, just for me and my husband.
It's always going to be, and this is a traditional thing, and it's from years ago. Food festivals have been going for centuries, and they will continue to go, because Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any sort of social media, EPOS, all the rest of it, they're all functional for the restaurant and important, absolutely. But in terms of professionalism in taking your business to the next level, you really should be getting involved with the food festivals.
Thank you. Special judges are now voting, and I just want to remind you, please take into account everything they had to say, and do take into account they do only have 60 seconds, and your favourite ones, or the ones that you really want to vote for, you will have an opportunity to ask questions in round 3. All right, so whilst we have the special judges voting, I'm going to come to our very important president, of course, of the British Bangladeshi Caterers Association, to tell us what you feel. I mean, did they miss out? Did they miss a trick?
First of all, I think this time they are more relaxed.
Yes,
so 100%. I did get a better explanation from them than the last one. It's very hard, because when we're sitting here, I mean, most of us were not relaxed, but standing there in front of us, it is very hard. The 3 things I was looking at, it says sponsor charity, fundraising, ecosystem, and old and new. Those 3 things I was looking at. If you go on charity, charity is very important. We used to, I mean, everyone used to do it. The sponsor, which if you go on sponsor, I'm not really with sponsor, because sponsor is very highly cost. It doesn't come cheap. So you have to look at it whether will you be able to recoup the cost of sponsor where you've done? But what I found easier myself, I usually involve with local schools. On the summer fair, what do? We just give them some vegetable and some rice. It costs about 40-50 pounds, and they can raise a couple £100 from that. And the whole schools is like your customer. So this is the only cheaper version I would say I would use, and I would say that is the best way. The things about ecosystems, he said he need to ask the customer which dish is popular. You don't need to. You go to the ecosystem, you see how many selling on which one. So you can have your every monthly, you can have your report. If you think that 1 month, so like 3 months is one dish is going very high, then suddenly gone down, maybe you can look at it why it's gone down. So which is very, very good. You can do your control system as well.
You know, I was just thinking, even like having, you know, like you said earlier on about food festivals, even holding like a food stall outside, isn't it? I think that would be, like a pop-up, absolutely, outside your restaurant. So for people that are walking by to actually have a taste of your food, I think, you know, that would be something good. There's your consultant of the Catering Circle speaking. And
lastly, I was looking at one, the old and new, which is very important. We are here old and new. So everyone is old and new. So there are lots of people who prefer the old. So if you go on the modern one, you are leaving the old one.
It's finding that right balance, isn't it?
So you have to do a bit of everything to get all the market, every different market. So I would say you have to try, do everything. Do not say, look, I'm going in modern, forget about the leafleting. Leaflet is important as well as modern social media.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm going to come straight to our special judges, and I'll leave it open to whoever wants to answer this. You know, talking about media, and of course, you gave your advice, which was absolutely amazing, and I think they did try and take that into account. But I'm going to touch on what our president just said there about with regards to leafleting, you know, saying that's still very, very important. I mean, I don't know if I look at my leaflets through the postbox anymore, but saying that, sometimes it's the easiest thing to find in my drawer and quickly order something. Now, do you feel that the newbies, the younger generation, are forgetting these old tricks that our fathers have used, and, you know, they've been successful for years?
I think completely. It's the massive focus on digital now. So absolutely anything that can go viral, so spread through word of mouth and also through the digital area, such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. That's going to, and shared as well amongst, it can reach new clientele as well as the old. And if you think of, for example, the national newspapers and touch on what's current at the moment, and then focus what's your restaurant and what it's offering, and also what it can do, and for your customers on what's current in the newspapers for that day, and then focus your social media post on that. That can quickly go viral very quick, you know, spread word wide for that.
Thank you very much. That's really good advice. Thank you very, very much. Now that takes us to the end of round 2, I guess, and we'll be losing one participant from the 5. We are going to go on a quick break now, but however, we'll come back with the results right here on Channel S. Welcome back to the Restaurant Talent Show 2019 Season 4 Episode 1. This is where it's all happening. We're still searching for our favourite restaurateurs who will be taking with us to 2020's business conference. And of course, we've just completed round 2, and I'm pretty sure if you're sitting at home, you're sitting at the edge of your sofa wondering who has made it through. We had 5 contestants take part, and only 4 will make it through to round 1. Let's take a look at the results, because I have the results right in front of me. So the results should be on your screen right now. There you have it. Right. Let's take a look. In first place, we have Secret Spice with 96% of the votes. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Congratulations and a very, very well done. We have Taj Tandoori with 78% and Raj Lodge, not too far off, with 76%, and Mr. India in fourth place with 72%. The last three, of course, you are very, very close. And last but not least, we are having to send home today and say goodbye to Cam Spice. But well done for coming this far, Jakir Chowdhury from Cam Spice. You were an absolute amazing contestant. Congratulations. Can we please give them a huge round of applause, please? Well done. Now, without any further ado, I think it's time for round 3. Right, there we have it. Before we go on to round 3, which I'm super excited about, I am going to speak to the mentor of course, Cam Spice. I don't know what to say. I mean, I can see Adnan smiling away, like fully smiling away. How are you feeling, Zero? Right.
Yeah, second one. Yeah.
That's
But it's a
okay.
difficult competition. I think the young guys that are here, they're showing their personality, and that's what your business is about, really. Your business is your personality, and they're bringing it out and shining on the stage. So I think that's where they're sort of getting their marks and stuff. So I think that's what to concentrate on.
You still have one left.
Yeah, and I'm happy. They'll do good in the next round. They'll do good in the next
of
round.
course, we've still got Jalal. So good luck to him. Adnan, you have 3. That is a big grin on your face right now.
What can I say? They're all young. They're full of ideas. Raju Bhai, especially, honestly, you're smashing out. Mr. India himself, the man.
I mean, Raju, you know, he got 96%.
Yeah, he's doing.
What do you think he's doing right that the others are missing?
He's confident. He's got all the right ideas, and you know, it's even better because last year we were in the previous season. We were actually going toe to toe with each other. So it's even fun because we're actually good friends as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, all 3 of them are good friends of mine, and all 3 of them to be still in the show.
It's brilliant.
It's like I feel so proud. I'm so
you feel like a
proud.
proud dad right now.
No, not like a dad. No, that's a bit too far.
But thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for that. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with round 3. All right, so first up, if I could kindly have from Taj Tandoori, Jalal Saeed, please make his way to the stage. And of course, this is your last mentee.
Bring out your personality.
Yay, let's do it. Let's do it. We can do it. I'm sure you can. But honestly, this...
Do a dance.
I don't know if you have time for a dance. But the judges will be very happy to know that during this round, after they have finished answering, after the 60 seconds, you will have an opportunity to ask a question. So I will allow the panel judges, one panel judge per contestant, to ask a question, a burning question. So if there's anything that the 2 judges are dying to ask, you can pass it on to each other and say, can you please ask this? This is what I really want to know. And of course, the contestant, you will have around 40 seconds to answer that question. All right. Now, this round is all about cost saving and revenue increase. Now, this is actually something, please keep in mind, that the judges earlier on said you all missed out on. Because when you were talking about your success stories, there were very important factors that they felt you didn't touch on. So this is another chance, another lifeline. So take it, because it's all about cost savings and, of course, how you can increase that revenue and make a profit. All right, so let's get started. First up, no pressure at all. So you have 60 seconds for this one again. And of course, the judges will also ask you a question. Your time starts now.
Yeah, so basically in our restaurant we look at 3 ways to increase our revenue. One of them is to attract new customers. Another one is to make the customers that are coming come more often. And the third one that we have is to increase the per spend average of each customer. And with regards to the spending per head of each customer. Like, it's one of the easiest things to do. If you like, what we did was we engineered our menu in such a way that the customers would look at it like preference over price. So what we did was kind of hid the price within the text. So a lot of menus that had looked like a price list, but instead of that, we kind of embedded it more into the description, got rid of it in bold, made the font a bit smaller. So then when customers make a choice, they look rather at the description of the dish as opposed to looking at a price and basing it judged on that. And we looked at some other research as well regarding, you know, how your eye scans a menu, you know, similar to what Tesco's and things do. And we found that, you know, when you look at a menu, you look at the top right, then you scan across, then you come down, something like that. So we were putting our more profitable items on the right hand side, and doing this, we've actually increased our per head spend by about 10%. And if you think £2 with 500 customers a week coming through, that's £1,000. Not just increased revenue, that's increased profit. That's big, 52 grand a year. That's a big profit increase.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much. Yes, Sarah, you have a question?
Can you just tell me 3 dishes that you have on your menu that might be different from what other people have?
40 seconds to answer this, yeah?
Okay, so we do a lamb rogan shepherd's pie, which is a new fusion dish that we came up with, you know, something. And then we have we took the shami kebab and made it a shami burger. We put like grilled paneer on it and onion bhaji. And another one we do is like a popcorn dal, which is the dali bora. We've put it in little popcorn boxes. These 3 dishes, they became like a talking point in our restaurant on social media. Some people like lamb rogan shepherd's pie, amazing. They tried the mash. It's got like turmeric with cumin on it. It's really nice.
Excellent.
And
that sounds absolutely amazing. Do you know what? I want to come to your restaurant. I just want to try that shepherd's pie. Or next time you're here, please bring some food. Thank you so much. Let's get the next contestant ready to come and speak to us and share their thoughts on cost savings and, of course, how they do their revenue increase. So this is from Secret Spice, Raju Kamali. Please share your thoughts. Again, same thing for you, 60 seconds, and a judge will ask you a question. Your time starts now.
Thank you. Come straight to the point on cost saving. We used to have 5 waiters. From 5 waiters, we've gone down to 3 waiters. So from 5 to 3 waiters. Now, after we got rid of the 2, we had a meeting with the 3 waiters to make sure they're happy at the same time. So what I've done, I've reduced 2 waiters, but I give them a pay rise. On top of giving them, I make sure they had the tip as well. So whatever the tip was, obviously they share it out between the 3. So it makes them happy and me happy as well. Nowadays we know staff wages have gone really, it's gone over the roof. On the minimum wage on a waiter, you're looking at £300 a week. Times that by 52 weeks is £15,600. I got rid of 2 waiters, so I've saved more than 30 grand. So that's coming into my pocket. This is where I save huge money on staff wages. Another thing, suppliers, they're very important actually. It depends how you balance them. What we intend to do, we keep all our suppliers on credit as much as we can. What it does, it lets you have that equity in the bank, so you have the balance. So when you get your PAYE bills or your VAT bills, you're not struggling. It helps you because you're keeping a lot of credit. So it really does help. Thank you.
Don't go. We might have a question.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Question. No, you.
Absolutely. Yeah, first of all, this is a small question about wastage and portion controls. So what do you think about it and how do you control it?
Okay, wastage and portion. What we've noticed, we're giving a lot of portions big size because the reason being is, like I said previously, we want customers to have the value for money. We don't want them to pay £8 for a curry. They're only getting 4 or 5 pieces of chicken. So what we started to do, we gave them 7 or 8 pieces of chicken, so they get the value for money. But then we've noticed, it was coming back and there was 2 or 3 chicken left. So what we started to do, we come down to 6 pieces. So, it doesn't fill themselves up. So once we started doing 6 pieces of chicken and it was going out in the restaurant, people were finishing it off. And what it does, it gives you the idea of not cooking too much chicken in a day. So what we intend to do now, we look at the bookings, everyday reservation. So if we've got 30 or 40 booked up, we know how much to cook. So it makes you do less wastage.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Next up is, of course, from Mr. India. We've got Sofas Zaman. Thank you so much. Again, 60 seconds start for you. And panel judges, let's not make it too hard. One question, please,
let's
per person. All right, there you are.
Yes, please. So
by upselling, what we do, we've got Curry Club, once a month Curry Club. We have all the local authorities from sports, as in football, rugby. As you said, someone mentioned Rotary Club, and I forgot to say that at the beginning. I was a Rotarian myself. Yeah, so we've got pro boxers. We give them set menus, set prices, come once a month. It's a membership. And hopefully what we do is that's the increase of the weekdays. So weekends we're obviously fully booked always, but it's the weekdays that we push ourselves on this set menu, set price. Also with controlling shift work, what we do is shift workers. So we have the rush, the busiest time is 5 to 8, that's the rush busiest hour. So what we do, we have the impact. We have fully qualified staff. So it's not, everyone's educated on the menus, the whole teamwork, everyone knows what they're doing when they start. Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, you can finish your last. Yeah.
So as I say, everyone's educated, everyone knows what they're doing, everyone's ready to rock and roll, and you know, we all communicate. That's number one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Question from our judges. One question.
A simple one. How important do you see teamwork in a restaurant?
110%. Without the team, we're nothing. Without the team, solid team, we need a positive team.
How often do you have meetings with your staff?
Believe it or not, once a week, every Sunday, football time, and after work, because what we do with the team, we have a Sunday football. So we
which is the busiest day?
Saturday's the busiest day. Saturday's the busiest day, but Sunday we all still have the full staff. We still have the full staff, the full team.
And the tips do you share with kitchen staff, or just the waiters? One of the contestants just said that he only gifted 3 waiters.
So what we do, we share out into the whole wages, to the whole team, from front house and back of house, so in the kitchen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. All right, next up from Raj Lodge, we have Munayam Uddin to please make his way onto the stage and get ready for the grilling. From the judges. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be fair, if that's all right with you guys. Yeah. And I'm going to allow, I like the way you guys just went, yeah, just give it to them. I'll let you guys fight it out between you if you want to ask a burning question to the last contestant. It can be from the group, so you can think of a question. All right, no, not yet. All right, 60 seconds time starts now.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, or as I tried to mention earlier, a big cost-saving tool for us is actually us having our own wholesale cash and carry, which obviously allows us to not over-order, and we can actually go direct to the suppliers and bargain with them and try and get the best deal. And also, when it comes to increasing revenue, what we do as a restaurant is we actually incentivise our staff to try and increase the average spend per customer. So if they obviously meet their targets, they all get a bonus at the end, which, you know, it works for them. It creates a nice environment in the restaurant as well. So obviously we're also where we save money with our wholesalers. We can be very product conscious. So, you know, we can go out and try and get the best meats, the best quality, you know, organic, fresh vegetables, fresh ingredients, fresh everything. So obviously with the advantage of having the EPOS system in place, that obviously it saves a lot of time when it comes to orders, because orders come straight through, and it obviously saves the staff sitting there on the phone for ages trying to understand the customers and everything else like that. So
thank
you.
Is that your time's come to the end? Yes, thank you so much.
Cheers.
One question from our special judges. Does anybody want to ask a question? Let's.
You know, the portion that you're just selling.
Okay.
How many pieces like in your portion like normally?
So obviously that can average out depending on what dishes do, because we do a lot of different kind of dishes. But on average, say chicken tikka masala, we make sure there's at least like 8 to 10 pieces in like chunks of the chicken that you actually cut down.
And how much you charge for a portion like?
Our portion of masala is actually $10.50 without rice.
And 10 pieces.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, about 8 to 10 pieces, depending on what the mood the chef's in on the day. You know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. That was it. That was all our 4 contestants that made it through to round 3. I'm going to ask the production staff to please give the iPads to our judges whilst they do the judgment. And whilst they do the judgment, I will also take our goodbyes from our special judges and thank them for coming onto the show today. I'll start with Shahena, as you're not putting your judgment on yet. So thank you so much for joining today. And of course, what were your views?
I think they're incredibly creative. I do think they're on the pulse. The finger's on the pulse about cutting wastage and looking at creative ways to cut costs as well.
Yeah.
I do think they sometimes need to look at the big picture, like the gentleman over there said. So on general, I think they've done quite well.
Thank you very much. And Abul, how about yourself?
I'm enjoying it so much, and some of the points that I would like to mention is, in my first comment, I mentioned that we should be focusing more on solutions and artificial intelligence and stuff like this. But in the second phase, I'm just giving an overall feedback about it. We did not really talk about using our database and email systems for our existing clients. And then when we suppose we are looking for restaurants in Whitechapel, we'll be going to Google and type restaurants in Whitechapel. Nobody mentioned about Google marketing, so that was a depressing side. And then in the last phase, they have spoken about many things, but they never mentioned how they actually decrease the cost using the ecosystem, like taking the waters and things like this. Yeah, these are the things we can be more focused in future. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and it was great having you as a judge. I'm going to go back to Mujib and ask you about how you felt. I mean, you're obviously the man when it comes to media and technology, but when it came to cost pricing and increase, do you feel that they ticked all the boxes?
I think given the amount of time that was given to everybody, they did fairly well.
Yeah.
So, one area which I think they should have spoken a bit more about is about cost efficiency and saving in areas where a lot of restaurants overlook and don't really focus on how they can very easily manage that cost. But I think generally everybody is quite passionate about the restaurant. They spoke quite well, and they've got a good understanding of how to run their business.
Yeah.
So well done to everybody.
Thank you very much. I'm going to come to the mentors and take your last words and say how do you feel that they did? I mean, you must be very proud.
Yeah, no,
you obviously won your one to win.
No, well, firsthand, we know how hard it is to stand behind there and to have 1 minute and 2 minutes and
it's just not enough.
The lights shining on you.
I bet you guys went home and really cursed me. Did you curse me? Oh my God! Adnan just went live on air and she said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah, so for them not to have that much time and for them to be in front of sort of these judges and the cameras and stuff like that, I think they did very well. And the younger guys, your personality is coming through, and that's what you got to show really in this show.
Thank you, Adnan. You've got 3. Who you really cheering for?
No, that would be biased. I'm not going to say anything. But I think each 4 of them.
paid you the most.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Taj Tandoori as well. Like really, really great points there. You've done really well. But I think all 4 of them had their own kind of unique selling points and everything they've said. So you guys should all be really proud of yourselves. And whoever doesn't win, if it's a lesson learned, it's not a loss, is it? So you'll do, go off and do great things.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you very, very much. And of course, thank you to our celebrity chef for coming on today as well. And of course, asking the question to the group. I'm just waiting for the results. I'm waiting for the go-ahead to say we have the results. So as soon as I have the results, I will be announcing it on air. And I'm super, super excited. I'm going to take the goodbyes now from our judges. So if I could start with yourself, thank you so much for coming on today. And if you'd like to say a few words to our contestants, just quick.
I think you have done extremely well. I mean, we are looking for future, and I think you are our future. There's one thing you should always do, because obviously what we do when we have a meeting, we usually have meeting with the chefs. But we don't talk to the kitchen porter. But sometimes kitchen porter, they observe more than the chef. So sometimes get their view as well. You might get a good tip from them as well. So best of luck anyway. Thank you very much.
I think you've all been brilliant. You've had such short time to talk about your sort of lifelong business, but you've all been brilliant, and wish you all the luck for tonight and for the future.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
No, I think they're an excellent, a great job, because it's very difficult coming for 120 minutes, then 60, and then 40. And I think we tried our best. We all, with our limitation and everything else, especially me, you know, but I think Zara Tumar, you know, ask you win next time, but keep trying, you know, and we learn from each other's. Thank you.
Absolutely. Of course, don't forget that if you really want to be involved with the Catering Circle, you still can. You can email them and get in touch. And of course, send them your CVs or just tell them, hey, I have a restaurant. I want to be a part of this. I want to talk about how great I am absolutely doing in this industry. And you can definitely get involved. Don't forget, you still have the chance to download the app on an Android or a smartphone. And you can actually watch back this episode and follow your favorite restaurants on the Catering Circle app, which is super exciting and you don't want to miss that. And of course, you can join everyone on social media. Join Catering Circle on social media as well and tweet about them. All right, I think I have the results, which is on my hand right now. And are we ready to go ahead and actually say who the winners are? Are we ready? Okay, let's do this. And the two winners that will be going through to the finals for the Business Conference 2020 are... Currently, we've got 84%. I don't have my contacts. Apologies. And Raj Tandoori, congratulations. And Mr. India and Raj Lodge, are with 68 points. So we actually have a tie. We have a tie right here. So what I'm going to have to do now is get the tie. So if I could get, so Mr. India and Raj Lodge, if I could get you to please come forward, come in front. If you could please come in front of the judges. Raj, yes, Mr. India and Raj Lodge. If you could come, that's it, just stop now. There we are. We've got 4 cards. I'm just going to explain to the audience and of course to our participants what's going on in this havoc. We have 1 to 4 cards right now, and the person with the highest number will be making it through to the finals. So you've got 1 to 4, 1 being the lowest. Whoever gets number 4 will make it through to the finals at the Business Conference. Please pick your card and give it to Sarah. Thank you. And if I could ask you to kindly pass it to this judge here. Thank you so much. And if you could, so where's Mr. India? Let's get Mr. India. Let's see what Mr. India's got. Sarah? 1, and we've got Raj Lodge with 3. Well done. Can we show that to the camera, please? Can you hold it up? Thank you very much. Congratulations. So we are taking Taj Tandoori. And of course, we are taking Raj Lodge to the finals. Please, would you like to say a few words quickly before we say goodbye? Congratulations.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm surprised, but the competition was tough and it's very nerve-wracking on here. But this, I think, is a platform. It's not about winning or losing. I think it really, if we can just share our experiences and the things that we do, and we can all benefit from it as an industry, it's really cool. And I'm learning a lot here as well, so it's great. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
And last but not least,
100%. I just want to agree on everything my brother here said, and I'd just like to say thank you, and good luck to everyone else who joins the competition, and hope we can all get better from this, Thank you. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you to our audience for joining today and for being a part of this amazing journey that I love coming back for. This was, of course, Restaurant Talent Show Season 4, the Episode 1. I'll be back again, your hostess, Nadia Ali. I'll be back again for more talent, or with more talent, actually, and to the journey finding the best restaurants in the UK on the 2nd of July, right here on Channel S. Thank you very much for staying with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.